Yes, there's a lot of people here, the VIPs. You got generals, you have colonels, you have small business owners, all concerned about the country. This is one of the most patriotic places in the nation, and a lot of them are here today, and they're big-time viewers. And it's going to be special talking to them shortly, including an Eagle Scout. But right now, I want to bring in one of the busiest guys in America, who's got a lot on the line this week, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Mr. Speaker, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me, all the way down even in Florida.
Right. I know how hard you guys worked on this deal, but it's going to be a nail-biter, it seems, going down to the wire. How concerned are you about the bill that you cobbled together getting out of committee?
Well, look, it's a different Congress. It's a new day. It's not that you have to pass the bill to find out what's in it. You got 72 hours. This isn't a 1,000-page bill. This is 99 pages. And this is different than we've ever had before. We're actually going to spend less money this year than we spent last year. And your viewers have heard me give this analogy before. A debt limit is like the family having a credit card, but you've been charging it up every year and just keep lifting the limit. This year's different. We now say we're going to spend less. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to look at all what we spend our money on because the mandatory spending, Social Security, Medicare, that's all off to the side. So I can only look at about 15% of what we spend our money on. So what we did is, in elements like non-defense, that's going to go below 2022 levels. So that's a very positive. But the other thing we did, we put ourselves on a spending plan. We cap how much we can spend for the next 6 years with government. But we also did something different. In this family, we may have a child that able-bodied, not married, no kids, but he's sitting on the couch collecting welfare. We're going to put work requirements on that individual, so he's going to have work requirements. He's going to get a job, and it's going to make the life easier. But we're also going to look at places we've been spending our money that we've wasted that we're going to return, right? Like all that COVID money that we didn't spend, we're going to bring it back. But one of my favorites here is $400 million for CDC, the Global Fund, where we'd use that hardworking taxpayer money over to China. We're not going to do that. We're going to send that back. And then we did a number of other things here, right? One of the things that's very interesting we did, that the president has been spending money wildly. If he wants to put a new regulation in, we took an executive order of President Trump's, and now we're putting it into law and making it a little tougher, where if he wants to put a new regulation in, he has to cut government if it costs more than $100 million. And then we looked at things about cutting the red tape, that we get so frustrated that we can't build the roads. It takes 7 years. We now reform NEPA, the environmental review. Instead of waiting 7 years, now the studies are only 1 to 2 years. This hasn't been done in 40 years. And then we did something interesting to make government, or make Congress, consequences for their lack of action. They have 12 appropriation bills that they have to pass every year, and they never do, and they come back with that omnibus. Now we say, if you don't do your job, it's a 1% cut across the board. So encourage members of Congress, not now with the new Congress you actually show up, now you're going to have to work. This is going to be the biggest cut by the Congressional Budget Office says in history of where we're going forward. To do all that, we allowed the debt ceiling to go forward for the next 18 months, and we'll readdress it, hopefully with a Republican president and a Republican Senate, to even make it stronger.
All right, Mr. Speaker, we want to play you these two sound bites. These are two in the GOP that are saying they're voting no, and we'll get your reaction on the other side. Here's Chip Roy and Ralph Norman.
There's going to be a block of us that are a no. And I hope that more Republicans will join with us and stand up. I would like to say that we should kill this. We should move forward. We should pass a short-term debt ceiling change. Let's not lift the debt. $4 trillion. Again, I want to repeat that for America. $4 trillion. We are going to have an uncapped, actually, debt ceiling that will equal $4 trillion that expires in a lame duck on January 1st, 2025. And for that, we do not get substantive policy reforms on any of the green tax subsidies, the corporate cronyism.
I think we need to call our bluff. And there is a time that you walk away from negotiations, and this is one of them. They're not serious. Biden dithered for over 100 days. And no deal is better than a bad deal. And this is a bad deal for America, and it should not move forward.
Mr. Speaker, they're both on the Rules Committee. You need their votes to move forward, and you're going to need Democrats.
Well, we're going to sit down. We're going to talk today, have people come in. It's the first time they're back to be able to walk through the bill. I mean, read the Wall Street Journal. They say it's a very good bill. You look time and again. What's interesting, compare it to other debt ceilings. When we had the presidency, the Senate, and the House, They just raised the debt ceiling with no cuts. It was just a clean debt ceiling. We only have the House. The president said he wouldn't even negotiate with us, but we were able to get in there. This is the biggest cut in American history that we'd vote for. And I'm not sure where in here. There's no new taxes. There's no new government programs. Would I wanted to cut more? Yes, but I was only able to work at less than 15% of the budget. So I'm not quite sure what else they wanted to go. 72% of this is off to the other side. We were able to plus up defense and the veterans, but that non-defense without veterans is actually lower than what we spend in 2022. I think we got to look at where the victories are. We don't spend another $4 trillion. We allow them to keep going forward until January. But you got those extraordinary measures. I think if we got a new president in there and a Senate majority, we're going to finally be able to tackle this. I would like to look at everything and put us on a better path. This is just the first step.
Right, because at this point, you guys Republicans only control one half of one branch of government. So for you to get what you got was great for the most part, because the Republicans did much better in this than the Democrats did, obviously. And to your point, Joe Biden never wanted to negotiate, but you forced his hand. However, because there are going to be, a bunch of Republicans on the big vote are going to vote no. You're going to need a bunch of Democrats to say, you know what? I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm going to vote with Kevin McCarthy.
Well, normally when you come to an agreement with two different parties, you have people on both parties vote for it. But the difficulty that's different than any time before is the Democrats will tell you there's nothing in the bill for them.
Nothing.
The president numerous times, he kept asking for tax increases, new government programs, and I just said no. And he says, well, there's nothing in it for us to vote for. I said, well, this debt ceiling increase we can go forward on. I'm not sure people want to go past that deadline and interest rates go up and others.
Right.
I think this is a good first step, but we can go much further. And I have a plan for that coming forward where we can look at the entire budget and tackle our problems, especially in a bipartisan way. This is reasonable, this is sensible, but it's also a responsible thing to do.
It's going to be a nail-biter. That said, Fox has learned that Fox expects between 240 and 270 votes for yes. And the New York Post writes, it doesn't starve the beast, but rolls back and limits. It's a decent deal. Meanwhile, there's something else you got to do, and that's juggle multiple issues. Mr. Speaker, the chairman, Comer, has asked you to call FBI Director Christopher Wray and get him to turn over documents linking Joe Biden to an alleged $5 million scheme thanks to a whistleblower who stepped forward and told his story in what I think is a 302, which is this story is all written down. They want to get the documentation. Christopher Wray has given the old Heisman. You tried to get him to do something. There's going to be a conversation today. What could you tell us about Christopher Wray cooperating at some point with something he has to constitutionally do with Comer?
Look, Comer subpoenaed the document that he's requested. We have jurisdiction over the FBI, which they seem to act like we do not. I personally called Director Wray and told him he needs to send that document. Today is the deadline. So let me not just tell you, let me tell Director Christopher Wray right here, right now. If he misses the deadline today, I am prepared to move contempt charges in Congress against him. We have jurisdiction over this. He can send us that document. We have the right to look at that, Republicans and Democrats alike in that committee. And if he does not follow through with the law, we will move contempt charges against Christopher Wray and the FBI.
You know what he says,
they are
Mr.
not
Speaker,
above the law.
Mr. Speaker, but what does he say to you when you told him to do this? He came back and said, if the reports are correct, well, this is a speculative document. It's unverified, so I'm not comfortable handing it over. What do you say when he says that?
We had a conversation, and I'm part of Gang of Eight. I see sensitive documents all the time. I told him he could redact certain parts of that, names and others, so we wouldn't know methods, but we have a right to see it. He does not have the right to choose what he can and cannot show us. We oversee the FBI, and if he thinks differently, he will soon see a contempt charge in Congress against the director. There is enough problems in the FBI, and I am not going to sit back and allow him to ignore this. We will get this document. He has not denied that the document's not there. He knows that there's a document, and we have a responsibility to see it.
Let's talk about the 2024 race. We had Asa Hutchinson on our show earlier. He says he's going to New Hampshire and Iowa. We know that Ron DeSantis is kicking off his campaign today, going to Iowa, and he's going to, what is it? How many cities in three days? 12 cities in three days.
States.
And then Sean Hannity's going to have a sit down with President Trump in a town hall on Thursday for his show. So what do you think of the race so far?
Well, I think a lot of people are getting in with a lot of different ideas, but the one thing I do know America loves is they love those Trump policies that made America stronger, and we yearn for that back in this House and back in this country. So I think having debates is healthy, but at the end of the day, we know foremost that what Biden has done to us, getting us out of Afghanistan, collapsing that, harming us around the world, 13 new Gold Star families, brought us inflation by Democrats in charge, opened a border where we can't control. Fentanyl's now killing more Americans at any time in history. We need a new president with a new direction. So you can have the debates, but at the end of the day, we need one person that's going to help lead us to the change.
All right. Speaker McCarthy, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank
it's going to
you.
be a very busy week for you, so thanks for starting your week with Fox and Friends.
Thank you. It's a good place to start.
Thank
you very much. We think so. I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.